Welcome back to the freewheeling.media Sidecar TT Race 2. You ride on board with Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement as they try and chase down in front of them Kieran Clark and Andrew Johnson. They're both on Yamaha CES machines. And it's a narrow bit of road to try and get one of these through, it really is. Meanwhile, your leaders, the Crowe brothers, are at Glen Helen. They were 37 seconds up the road at the grandstand, which is pretty incredible, and this is why they are performing in total harmony.
They certainly are. Another great camera view there. Look at Callum, his lanky frame. This works perfectly. Now look when he's tucked in. You'd think that's just time when you're resting. There's no rest. Look how much his body's still getting beaten and bounced around. They make their way up Concavodi Straight. Here, excess 140 miles an hour, full commitment.
And fully tucked in.
Crawford and Hardy. They're on a Kawasaki-powered outfit, where Crows are on a Honda-powered Birchall Rosny Honda, and the rest of the field nipping at their heels, mostly on Yamaha, so the Kawasaki is a slightly different choice.
Is that down to power or more to configuration, be able to get the engine low, or some of them run an engine laid down, don't they, for aero even?
Yeah, new generation outfits do have a lay-down engine. That's not only to lower the centre of gravity, but also lower the position of the driver. They're essentially now, as you see down, that driver is laying on top of the cylinder bank of the inline four-cylinder engines, which is a configuration they all run in these outfits.
We're back with Ellis and Clement. They've been following. I think the gap's gone up a bit, actually, Cam, looking at this. I reckon Clark and Johnson are slightly further away from them now. Well, maybe not. When you see the outside shot, it looks closer than you think, doesn't it?
Oi! Out wide, had a second bite, lifted that third wheel.
They've got a brilliant history in short circuit racing, Cam.
Oh, Ellis and Clement, they've been world and British sidecar champions, made their debut here at the TT last year. It just goes to show the pedigree of the pairings and the outfits we're getting. They might have won a world championship, but the next challenge for them is the Isle of Man TT.
And that's a challenge which the Crows have approached for a little bit longer. I think you're back on board with Ellis and Clement, just that experience of where every single bump is. Birchall and Rosny coming through. That wonderful section, you just see the attitude in the chairs, as they're called.
Yep, Birchall and Rosny up over the jump. Just listen to the build rev so much quicker when they're heading downhill. They've got that momentum.
Still not a hint of a lift. Listen in.
As the revs just spike when that back wheel lifts off the ground.
Unbelievable. It really is just brilliant, isn't it? Still, these two are locked together out on the roads. Clark and Johnson, Ellis and Clement, seemingly either unable or unwilling to close that gap down between the two. Maybe they're just that closely matched.
Yeah, well, they're in a position in the race where probably just as well to hold their position now on this final lap. Riding on board, Crawford and Hardy coming down through Carramore. Super duper bumpy section, as we just see. Now this really is where the outfit does walk across the road.
I think that's what everybody's been so staggered about with this outfit, Cam, the #1 outfit of the Crows, is that from the very first practice session, it looked really locked in. The geometry on these machines is slightly strange in that none of the three wheels really line up. And yet somehow the Crowe machine just looks like it's stuck to the road. And look at this, look at the fairing moving on the right-hand side of your picture.
Andrew, nothing adds up in sidecars. Nothing makes sense, but they just do it anyway. And that's what makes this class so incredible.
Fans leaning out over the side of the road, showing their respect to these pairings. Look at that, handholds down the side. Sounds incredible as well, doesn't it? Exhaust coming straight through, out the side of the sidecar.
This really is a dream pairing, a dream situation. Ryan, Callum Crowe, their father Nick Crowe, TT winner. Dave Molyneux, 17 times TT winner, most successful sidecar driver of all time and sidecar engineer. Helped this team develop that outfit. They're on board now.
If you look underneath it, you can see just the various different lumps sticking out for the air. Oh no, Saunders and Cook have lost drive. They've lost drive. You can hear the engine revs spiking up. They're going to have to pull that over the side of the road just before Ginger Hall. It's the end of the Selby Straight.
Well, at least it's only a short walk to the pub for them.
Yeah, good shout. That's where Pete Hickman ended up last year, wasn't it? Up to the hairpin. Birchall and Rosny, 54 seconds down now, but good progress in terms of their lap pace. Crawford and Hardy coming through the same section. Yeah, you don't see the amount of aero underneath. I tell you what, I'm going to have to go down and have a look at the Crowe's machine at some point. I want a good look underneath it. Not sure I'm going to get it. I think that's the sort of thing that's going to be well hidden.
I think, Andrew, you could be in line behind a few of the other sidecar competitors at the moment, because they'll be scratching their heads at how this young pairing are just achieving the unachievable.
Yeah, 100%. Here it is, look again, look underneath, you see? Just the little bits, I'm intrigued by it. Out then, onto the final straight. It is a second Sidecar TT win here for the Crowe brothers, Ryan and Callum, at home on the Isle of Man. And it is their fourth in a row. Double victors last year, double victors this year. They are dominating the category.